Hi there, my name is Daoud Miracle, and I am the co-founder of a branding and web design agency called Doing Good. We stumbled across your website when we were doing some research for a client of ours who does similar work in a different part of the country. And when we saw your site, we saw there's some areas that really could use some improvement. And so we wanted to reach out through this video and share with you the areas that we feel you could improve. Now, while this video is totally out of the blue, we get that. This is something we do commonly. Is we do lots of research for our clients on the internet. And when we find sites during that research that we feel could use some help, could use some improvement, we often do these short videos to reach out. So it's not uncommon for us to send these. And what we really want is for you to be able to gain some value and see some areas where your site could do a better job at meeting your business goals. So before I jump in, let me start with an area that I think you've done really well on your website. And that's this services section on your homepage. Now, it's clear that this website is mainly uh, built around your practice, and it's excellent to see that these are the number of areas that you can help your audience with. And I'm going to get back to audience here in just a second. One thing I'd recommend is, while it may seem obvious that when I mouse over here, I can click or tap on a mobile device, it'd be even more advantageous to your users if you had a learn more button underneath each of these options, just as a visual cue that this is an area that you can click on. People may not get that the photo is something to click on. And truthfully, when I first looked at the site, I only knew that because I stumbled on it. I kind of scrolled down, my cursor was over here on this side, and it didn't give me clarity that I can click on something. So having a click button would be a really nice way to reach your audience in a better manner. Um, the other thing I want to say, it's probably obvious, is that due to the structure of the site, which I think this is a Google template if I remember right, um, your logo's lost. It's completely lost, and um, it doesn't really provide you with some of the visual branding that you can really take advantage of on the internet. And so it's an area that I'd suggest, maybe choosing another Google template, or we could discuss what it would look like to build you a site that's more readily branded. And in general, your branding is fairly poor. Now, when we talk about branding, a lot of people think of visuals. They think of logo, colors, fonts, things of that nature, and having those things all in alignment. I don't really see your fonts being in alignment with a brand, which is something to consider. And also, the use of color doesn't seem to be as readily clear as it would be otherwise. But the two more important things about branding really have to do with communication and have to do with differentiation. And so the places that we feel you're really lacking on the branding side, one, is in communication. And what I mean by that is, while you've done a nice job here with describing what Rise is about, you haven't really described who the ideal client or the ideal patients are. And so that's one part of the communication is, are you connecting, keyword there, are you connecting clearly with the people who would gain the most benefit from being your clients in a way that they understand? In other words, do they see the solutions to the problems they're dealing with in your website? And you might come down here and say, well, our services are the solutions, of course. But have you identified the problems that they're facing first? That's a key way of communicating and clarifying your brand. The second piece I mentioned was differentiation. And what I don't see, while you guys mention here, again, your services, and you're the premier provider, which anybody can say that. Um, I don't see here where you've differentiated yourself from other physical therapy practices in the area. And so, really having that clear on your homepage, maybe the one-on-one physical therapy treatment, but I don't think that's going to be unique. It's not going to be a differentiating characteristic of you guys. Um, Really nailing it with the headline that you are providing this specific solution, and you do it differently than everybody else. And so that's something that really needs to be clear on your site to kind of feel more branded. And just to go a little further with the branding side of it, is I don't really feel your patients, your ideal potential patients, in your site much at all. And so something to consider, something I've said, I've been doing web development for close to 25 years now. And um, something I've said many, many times to people is that you and your business do not need a website. Your website is needed by your ideal potential clients or patients. And so consider that as you think about remodeling your website, and what is it that people really need to know about you, but more importantly, what do they need to know about themselves in relationship to your business? And we just, again, from a branding perspective, from a web design perspective, we just don't see that um, on your site. The key to converting new patients and new clients on a website is to make it feel as though you've made the website directly for them. And so telling about you, while that's an important piece, it doesn't really lock in what it is that you can help them with. And so consider that. Um, the thing about locations, yeah, this locations piece, this is where it feels very templatey. It's nice to have these little circles lined up and such, but it feels like this was this was unintentional. Um, and so, again, you could do much nicer job with, listing your locations in a different manner, many, many different manners on the homepage, giving people access to a Google map so they could find you, so on and so forth. And just the home page in general, the site in general kind of feels like it's a template. So maybe that was what you're going for. Maybe cost is an issue. I'm not sure. Though when you're presenting yourselves as being the premier provider of physical therapy in the area, you want to also lock that in with having what feels like a premier website as well. So ultimately there's a bunch of more things I can mention. What I want to do is make sure this video is short, make sure that you've gotten a couple of really good tips of things that you could improve. And the really good news to all this is that everything I've mentioned, can be fixed. We've worked with many, many clients who come with the same problems with their branding, with their website design, with trying to communicate with their customers. They're not doing that very well, their customers, patients, clients. Um, but all those things can be fixed. And, my guess with all this is that you're not getting from your website what you expected. Your website's not performing the way you expected. And so that's another area that we could help with. So what's next is we'll reach out to you, and hopefully you've had a chance to watch this video, but we'll reach out to you in a couple of days, follow up with you, see if we can answer any further questions for you, clarify things that may come out of this video that weren't clear. And for that, I apologize. And if you don't want to wait to hear from us, feel free to contact us as well in the email that we sent you. There should be some contact information. So I want to close by saying once more that my name is Daoud Miracle, that I'm a brand and web developer at Doing Good, which is our branding and web design agency. And a lot of people ask what we do. And in a nutshell, what we do for our clients is create and build thriving brands with remarkable websites to get you the patients that you really want. And so we'd love to add you to our list of people we've helped grow their practice and look forward to talking to you. Thanks very much.